Hey, we just talked about some polling, Camp. There's a whole lot of difficult data for the government. They're absolutely behind in their target to build 1.2 million homes by 2029. That's out today. Also reported, school students showed up for just 82% of the school days, so attendance numbers are down, considerably down. And finally, we have slipped as a country down 7 places to 37 in global rankings for internet quality, despite all the NBN billions. So it's not just the polls. The statistics are not falling the government's way either, are they?
No, they're not, Peter. And clearly, particularly on that housing issue, clearly the industry experts I speak to, people within the building construction sector, say that there is not a lot of optimism at all that these targets are going to be met. And it all boils down to a numbers game. We just need more people building homes more quickly. There are productivity factors in that. So we'll see what the government decides to do between now and the election if there's an attempt to get that back on track. The figures are going to be difficult, and I've described these first few months previously, I think, on the program, Peter, as the premiership quarter really for the government. We're going to get more inflation data by the end of the month. That's the big quarterly figure. We're also going to get a shot at a rate cut next month. It's still a toss of a coin as to whether or not that happens. Patrick mentioned earlier that if it does, well, that's great for people. The government will feel a bit buoyed. If it doesn't, then there's going to be another opportunity in April. And all of this, of course, ties back to election timing. That's why I'm confident that they're still going to try and give themselves room, the government, for a second rate cut or some kind of movement in April too. But you're right, Peter, they do need a little bit of good news to go their way in these next couple of months. And a lot really will hinge on those interest rate decisions.
All right, I'll get into Australia Day after the break with Sam Groth, who will join me to talk about their protests in Melbourne. But just let's go to Queensland quickly, if I can, Patrick. The Gold Coast City Council forced into a humiliating backflip today. Reports surfaced that they were going to be handing out double-sided flags. This is flags at citizenship ceremonies over the next couple of days. The flag would have an Aboriginal flag on one side and our Australian national flag on the other. Apparently, the mayor didn't know anything about this. He didn't approve it, he says, nor did anyone who's been elected onto council. Well, they've been ditched. What do you think?
This is so dumb, it's funny. I mean, the idea that the national flag and the Indigenous flag could somehow be interchangeable is ludicrous. And it was interesting to see the councillors running away from it at a million miles an hour today. So we didn't know about it, which is sort of understandable. This is crazy. This is activism gone mad. It has been cut, but it's just weird that it was actually allowed to happen the way that it did.